my brushes.
Hey guys, what is up? What's good? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, what I'm going to be doing is another one of my dupe videos, which I am so freaking excited about. The last video I did was my ABH subculture versus bad habit retro love. Today I will be duping the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette versus a brand new bad habit Inferno palette. Can we talk about it? Come on now. I'm so excited. If you guys are familiar with my dupe videos, pretty much I'm just comparing cheap eyeshadows versus high-end eyeshadows. I'm gonna go ahead and put them both to the test. I have high-end on one side, cheap on one side. So y'all know the drill. Pause the video. Let me know which side you think is cheap and which side you think is high-end. Lego. Did you get it right? I don't know. But if you did or if you didn't, don't forget to press that subscribe button. Also click that little bell so that you guys are notified anytime I upload a new video, which is 2 times a week, every single week. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Hello. You guys know before we get into the tutorial, I have to give you guys a little bit of a rundown on each product. So first and foremost, we will start off with the Urban Decay Naked Heat. So this is the infamous Naked Heat shadow palette. It's in a really sturdy plastic packaging like this. The lettering on the front is embossed, which I really, really love. When you open it up, it is a 12 pan shadow palette. It comes with a full-size mirror. I am covering it up because I do not want to blind you guys, but the shadows are in a rectangular formation, and this is the color range. It goes from lightest to darkest, which Urban Decay always does in their naked palette. So that is that. $54. That's the retail value on this baby right here. Next up, we have the Bad Habit Inferno shadow palette. So this is what she looks like. It's just a cardboard packaging. It kind of has a metallic feel on the front. It is not embossed, but when you open it up, it does come with a little mirror right here, which I like. And then you also have the shadows. They are in square pans, which honestly I do like this setup a lot better than the Naked Heat setup, but that's just my preference. This does retail for $10, which is an absolute steal. It's not as heavy as Naked Heat. Obviously this is cardboard. This is like real deal packaging. I do feel like the packaging on Naked Heat is pretty bulky compared to this. It's super duper sleek, which I like. So you guys know I always do comparison swatches, so I'm gonna put some swatches up on the screen so that we guys can see how each shadow swatches. Now keep in mind, I don't just do one finger swatch. It's not my thing. That's not how I get down. I really just build the shadows up so that way you guys can see the full intensity. The way I like to look at it is you're not just going to do one swipe of eyeshadow on your eyelid. You're really going to build shadows up to their full intensity. So don't be fooled by swatches, guys. Honestly, some swatches are good, some swatches are bad, but that doesn't really justify or truly represent how shadows will perform on your eyes. So with that, I almost lost my voice. With that, we're just gonna go ahead and jump into the look. Alright guys, so I brought you super up close and personal so that way you can really see the blending and all of that stuff. I'm just taking this brush by SMASHH and I'm going over my concealer just to ensure that it didn't crease or anything. And if you guys are new to my channel and you don't know, I do prime my eyelids with the medium 1 Custard Soft Matte Complete Concealer by NARS. I've been using this for a while now. I put a pretty big dent in it and it's just what I really like to use to act as my eyeshadow primer. It mutes out my eyelids and creates a nice tacky base for all my shadows to stick to. So that's what I'm going to start off with. Before we begin, it's important to know that neither palette has a bone colored shadow or a shadow that's closest to my natural skin color. So I will be using a little bit of my face powder to set down that concealer. This one is my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Powder in the shade 230 Natural Buff. I'm going to take this on a blurring concealer brush by SMASHH. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this and then I'm just going to put it all over my eyelids. Like I said, this is essentially going to set down that concealer we just applied. Perfect. So now that that's done, I'm now going to go in with the Inferno palette, and the first shade I'm going to pick up is this one right here called Baked, and I'm just going to take that and I'm going to rock it into my crease ever so lightly on a Sigma E40 blending brush. From the Naked Heat palette, I'm going to pick up this shade right here called Chaste. Alright, so now that that's all up in my crease, I'm going to go in with the next shade. And the next shade I'm going to use from the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette is called Sauce. I'm going to take it on that same Sigma E40 blending brush. And I'm really going to use this to warm up my crease because that other shade was very, very faint in color. So I'm going to really warm things up with Sauced. The dupe in the Inferno palette is Glow, so I'm just going to tap off. And I'm going to do the same thing with a clean Sigma E40 blending brush. Now, if it is your first time watching my videos, then it's important to note that I always use different brushes when I'm switching between eye looks, just because I don't want to cross-contaminate the products, and I really want to give you guys a true version of the pigmentation of each product. So I'm just going to build this up. I'm going to go in big circular motions. Okay, so far, so good. What do you think? Using the shade Cayenne from the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, I'm going to take this and I'm just going to focus it on the outer V. I'm really just focusing this color towards the outer V. So I'm just lightly building up the color little by little, because I just feel like it's easier to layer colors as opposed to going in with a lot right away. It tends to look very muddy. So I like to layer colors little by little. So I'm applying it, blending it, and then going in and reapplying. The dupe in the Inferno palette is called Bonfire, so I'm picking up a little bit of that on my Sigma E25, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to first start off by packing it right here in the outer portion of the lid. I'm just going to run it back and forth, back and forth. Then I'm really going to start intensifying things and then going in small circular motions. I'm picking up a little bit of the shade called She Devil, which is slightly darker than Cayenne, and I'm going to take it on a Precise Smudger brush by SMASHH, and I'm just going to apply it right here in the very inner corner. From the Inferno palette, I'm going to pick up the shade called Hot Spot. I'm going to tap off, and I'm applying this with a Marc Jacobs smudger brush right here, just like I did to the other side. So I am getting quite a bit of fallout with this shadow right here. I did just want to point that out, whereas on the Naked Heat side, I really didn't get any fallout. Hey you, I think you're snoring. I think you're snoring, little baby. Hey little baby. Hey, I think you're snoring. So right off the bat, I will say that the Urban Decay Naked Heat side is a lot darker than the Inferno side, but nonetheless, they are very great shadows, and they're very, very blendable. So I'm now going to move on to my lid color, just because things are looking wild, things are looking crazy, and I definitely need to do cleanup on aisle, I don't know, 10, 15, 20. I'm now going to cut my crease with a little bit of my Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer. I am in the shade R20, in case you guys were curious. So I'm going to put a little bit of this on the back of my hand. What I absolutely love about this to carve out my crease is that it's extremely lightweight, and it's a thinner concealer, so it's not going to cake up or get too weird on the eyelids, which I like. I'm just going to use this brush, which is a flat concealer brush by ABH, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of that concealer on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to cut my crease on both sides. Then with the pencil brush, I'm just going to feather the edges on the inner and outer corner, so that way the concealer doesn't dry in a stark, harsh line. So now that we have that concealer down and in place, we're going to go in with the next shade, which is called Lumber in the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. And I'm going to take this on a synthetic brush, and I'm just going to pop this all over. From the Inferno palette, I'm going to pick up this shade right here called Lit, and I'm going to apply it directly over top of this concealer. So I will say that the Lit side, or the Lit shadow, is a lot more creamier than Lumber from Urban Decay Naked Heat. But that's just my opinion. The Bad Habit side does unfortunately have a lot more fallout. So now that that's said, I'm going to start bringing the entire look together. So I'm going to pick up a little bit more of He Devil from the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to feather it into Lumber. So essentially, I'm trying to get more of a precise halo eye look. Then I'm going to add a little bit more of He Devil right here towards the outer corner, going in small circular motions. So on the Inferno side, I'm just doing the same thing. I'm deepening it up on the outer portion and really just bringing everything together. Like I said, this side does have a lot more fallout, so that's why things are looking pretty messy, but I feel like all of my eyeshadow tutorials look messy in the beginning, and then at the end it's like, you know what I mean? So Don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed. The next shade I'm going to use is this shade right here called Ounce. It's this really pretty, kind of like shimmery white color. So I am going to take it, I'm going to spray a little bit of Fix Plus onto the brush, and I'm going to apply it directly into the center to really just draw forth light. Wiping off the brush a little bit, I'm going to do the same thing with the Inferno palette. I'm going to pick up the dupe in the palette called White Hot, just like so, and I'm going to coat my brush very nicely. Then I'm going to spray it with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus, and I'm just going to apply it directly over top, just to create a little bit of a different look and draw forth light. To add a little bit more of a pop to the eyes, I'm going to apply Urban Decay's Heavy Metal Glitter in the shade Pyro, and I'm going to apply this directly into the center. Oh my god. So I think both sides look really, really great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up directly underneath my eyes, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back to finish up my lower lash line. I'm going to go in with the Naked Heat palette, and I'm going to take the shade called Infuego on a flat definer brush by Sigma, and I'm just going to take her and I'm going to push her closest to my lower lash line. And then I'm connecting the shadow like so. Once I have that placed, I'm going to take the shade called He Devil, and I'm going to apply it in the very inner corner. So that way they kind of gradate into each other very nicely. From the Inferno palette, I'm going to pick up the shade called Burn, and I'm just going to apply her closest to my lower lash line. Then I'm going to pick up the shade called Bonfire and apply it in the very inner part. Then with a clean pencil brush, I'm going to use this to smoke out the lower lash line. So you guys, I'm back. I went ahead and finished off the rest of my face off camera. I went ahead and added a little bit of liquid liner. I did not wing it out, and I applied a very pretty pair of lashes. These are the lashes I applied, just in case some of you guys were curious. These are the Eylure and Nicole Guerrero Faux Mink lashes from the Vlogger series. Now, what do I think overall about Bad Habit versus Urban Decay Naked Heat? I will say that Naked Heat is a lot deeper and richer in pigment as opposed to Bad Habit Inferno. But do I think that the Inferno palette is a bad deal? Absolutely not. $10. It's an absolute steal. You get some amazing colors in the palette. You get a mirror, and it's just a really high quality palette for the price. I will say it was a little bit difficult for me to blend out. I was getting a little bit of patchiness here and there, but the more I built up the shadow, the more I was able to kind of conceal those patches and get a really nice seamless look. If you guys want to check out Bad Habit Inferno, definitely check out SHOPHUSH.com. It can be exclusively purchased over on SHOPHUSH and on the app. I know they've been doing a lot of app releases, which is why it's taken me so long to pick up this palette. Finally, I got my hands on this baby because you guys have been asking me like crazy to film this video. So I finally got it up. I will be filming the Athena versus the Desert Dusk palette very, very soon. They actually just sent me a notification that is being shipped out as an influencer package. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to get it a little bit beforehand. I know it is launching on Black Friday, so my video should be up very, very shortly after, if not by the time everyone gets their packages. So with that, guys, I don't have anything else to say except I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all in the next one. Deuces.